So LSU might be a little bit screwed at quarterback. Let's talk about it after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. This is a sports talk show, and we have a good time talking about, well, mostly college football. Anyway, LSU might be a little bit screwed at quarterback, and the way that I tend to look at this is, what do they have behind Myles Brennan? Like, I understand that there's lots of LSU fans that believe that Myles Brennan is not only the heir apparent, but he is more than capable of picking up where Joe Burrow left off, to which I have my misgivings because, yes, Joe Burrow put together one of the best seasons in college football history. He is in what I call the Cam Newton zone, or what LSU fans call the Joe Burrow zone, putting Cam Newton in a zone with Joe Burrow. Whatever. Point is, he was the best quarterback that I'd seen in some time. He did not have a bad game. As much as I want to talk about what Baker Mayfield was able to do at Oklahoma, or Kyler Murray was able to do at Oklahoma, both of those guys took L's. Both of those guys did not win national championships. Cam Newton, no L's, right? He takes it all the way through and he gets a national championship win. Joe Burrow, not only no L's, did not have a bad football game. That's what's remarkable about what they've done at LSU. Their win now or not at all moment was 2019, when they had so much returning production that they flipped a switch and just went to work on everybody in the best league in college football. But now Joe Burrow's gone, and with him is a ton of talent. The guys that they lose are ridiculous. They lose both of the inside linebackers and their best edge rusher. They lose their best safety and their second best corner to me, their best corner to others. They lose the guy that torched Oklahoma for more than 200 yards receiving, 4 touchdowns in one half in Justin Jefferson. They lose Clyde Edwards-Helaire and half their running back production. They have to find out who they are in a hurry, and they got to do it before they play Texas, because would not be surprised at this point to find out that Texas has beat them. Now, as I'm doing this doomsday saying, I need to add in here, Peter Parrish is indefinitely suspended. That doesn't mean that he's not going to return to LSU. It does mean Ed Orgeron saying he hadn't been with the team for almost 2 months now, and they are in spring practices, which means that behind Myles Brennan, you're looking at TJ Finley and Max Johnson. TJ Finley has prototypical, NFL size, 6'6", 257 pounds, but he's not as polished as the other guy they brought in this class, Max Johnson, who is the son of Brad Johnson, who is the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers during that Super Bowl championship game. Now, Brad Johnson's kid, Max, feels like the guy that you probably want to have in that number 3 spot, and you want to have Peter Parrish in the number 2 spot because Peter Parrish was the third-string quarterback last year, and you want to have both of those guys really just learning how to do this. In the case of Parrish, give him another year. In the case of Johnson, give him an opportunity to learn the offense so that maybe he can compete with Parrish for the starting job next year. But if there's no Parrish, there's only a Brennan. And while Myles Brennan might be the answer, might pass 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns and finish as a Heisman finalist, but if he does not, you don't have anything behind him. You have 2 true freshmen, neither of which I think that even LSU fans want to have the starting job. Now, throw in there, you don't have Thad Moss as a safety blanket. You're going to rely on Eric Gilbert to do that, which might be an upgrade, might not. While I understand Jamar Chase is wearing the number 7 that I think should have gone to Derek Stingley, but whatever. He's the reigning Biletnikoff Award winner, and he's really good. And I acknowledge that Terrace Marshall, as I said, is still there. I'm also going, you don't have the defense to pick you up. And it ain't even like the defense was all that great at LSU last year. It was certainly better than Oklahoma, which I know you're going to point out. But it wasn't statistically awesome, and Grant Delpit wasn't statistically the best. There are enough people that were voting for the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award that thought that he was the best defensive back that should win the award. That doesn't mean statistically or advanced statistically he's the best, because the numbers are what the numbers are. However, if I know that you're breaking in a new cornerback, right? And by that, I just mean a new starter. And I know that you're breaking in at least one more safety. And I know that you're going to have to rely on Marcel Brooks to either be your edge guy or your inside guy. I feel good about challenging LSU if I am anybody but Arkansas and Missouri in the SEC West. Even Ole Miss, I think, feels like, cool, we got a shot at LSU this year. As much as LSU fans don't want to hear that. This is also why Jabril Cox is such a big deal and why him going to LSU could help them. But if you don't have Myles Brennan, or Myles Brennan just doesn't turn out to be half as good as Joe Burrow, you got one hell of a problem, because returning 42% of your production is not a good look. Not a good look at all. And you could say that about Alabama, but at the very least, Alabama had some puppies that got some playing time, right? And now with Mac Jones or Bryce Young as your starting quarterback for the Tigers, I feel good about Devontae Smith being over there. I feel good about Jalen Waddle being over there. I feel good about Najee Harris coming back, right? All of these things matter. But if I have that backfield and I have those wide receivers, I'm all right. We're good. And I also have more faith in what Alabama has because they returned both of their coordinators. And that's the part of this that doesn't get enough pub. I like Bo Pelini. I don't necessarily like Scott Linehan, but that doesn't matter because both of those guys are new coordinators. Steve Sarkisian, been there. Pete Golding, he's got 1 year under his belt. I feel better about him with a full assortment of Bama players. I don't know what I'm going to get from Bo Pelini, a guy that hasn't called defense in the National Football League. That'd be Scott Linehan with offensive. But guy that has not actually coordinated a defense at the FBS level in like 6 years. Now, when he last did in Nebraska, they're really good. And I understand that you think Bo Pelini's going to get you back to the 2007 defense, but it wasn't like you guys were terrible. And Dave Aranda was a top 5 defensive coordinator. Joe Brady, no matter how you slice it up or slice up the play calling responsibilities, is a top 5 offensive coordinator and would have been anywhere. Wanted to stay at LSU. Could have had a job anywhere else. Did. Took a job in the NFL where he wanted to get back to. And now he and Matt Rule are going to bust down the Carolina Panthers to try to build them back up. Tanking for Trevor already. I'm not prepared to say that LSU can't compete, but I think that they're going to actually take some lumps here. And it might be a bumpy ride. Because we're talking about being a quarterback away from just being good. And by good, I mean you win between 9 and 11 games, and being bad. By bad, I mean you go 5-7. It's on the table. So wrap Myles Brennan in bubble wrap and hope that your talent overcomes your inexperience.